It's Monday, August 8th. Coastal Sunrise starts now. And we are back after a week of vacation. Good morning, everyone. I'm Kim Gusby. Thanks for joining us this morning on Coastal Sunrise. Happening today, day 3 of the 2016 Summer Olympics in Rio. Gold medal events will be held in diving and women's rugby. U.S. men's gymnastics team will compete in the all-around final, hoping to win its first Olympic medal since 2008. In swimming, medals will be awarded in the men's 200-meter freestyle and 100-meter backstroke, and the women's 100-meter backstroke and 100-meter breaststroke. Here's a look at the current medal count. The United States in the lead with a total of 12 medals, 3 of them gold. Of those standout athletes, all eyes are looking to swimmers Katie Ledecky and Michael Phelps, as well as gymnast Simone Biles. But the Williams sisters saw disappointment over the weekend. NBC's Brian Moore has a wrap-up for us. And that was Brian Moore reporting. Now, coming up at 5:25 this morning, we'll have a live update from Rio. We'll also learn more about USA's new swimming superstar, Katie Ledecky, and what Michael Phelps is up to today. And, of course, don't forget, you can catch all of the Olympic action right here on WSAV and regular updates on our website, WSAV.com. Just click on the Olympics banner at the top of the homepage. More problems for Team Russia as the International Paralympic Committee banned all Russian athletes from competing in the upcoming Paralympic Games in Rio. Russian fans gather at the Russia Fan House in Rio, saying they remain hopeful their country's athletes will still be allowed to compete in next month's Paralympics. The IPC says a widespread doping culture has polluted sports in Russia. Russia plans to appeal the ban. The Paralympics organization directly condemned the Russian state's involvement while stopping short of blaming Russian President Vladimir Putin. Coming up on 3 minutes after 5 o'clock right now, and it's the first full week back to school for kids here in Chatham County. And they'll want to pack an umbrella this morning. Lee's in now with a first look at our forecast. Good morning, Lee.
And a good morning, Kim. That is absolutely right. In Savannah, 80 in Brunswick, and it is currently 74 degrees in Augusta. So we'll talk more about the work week forecast, better chances for rain, and a look at the 7-day, Kim, in just a little bit.
Thanks a lot, Lee. And now here's a look at your radar hotspot from Savannah Chatham Metro Police. The road to watch this morning is Bull at Bay Street. In a crime alert for you this morning, Metro Police are investigating a possible kidnapping and sexual assault. It happened early Sunday morning. Investigators say the victim was intoxicated after a night out with her family and friends. They say she was waiting downtown on a bench near Jefferson and St. Julian Streets for her friends to pick her up. But when her friends returned, she wasn't there. After searching the area, the victim's friends found her in a parking lot near Martin Luther King Boulevard and Broughton Street. Now, anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 912-234-2020. Estill police are asking for your help this morning finding a man wanted for attempted murder, burglary, and possession of a weapon during a violent crime. His name is Justin Christopher Golden. He's 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighs 191 pounds, and drives a white Ford Crown Victoria with the tag number 6539GW. Police say he's considered armed and dangerous, so if you see him or if you have any information, call Hampton County Dispatch at 803-943-9261. On now to a developing story out of Jessup this morning, where a church was destroyed by fire yesterday afternoon. The fire started around 3:30 p.m. at the New Life Pentecostal Church shortly after a back-to-school bash was hosted there. As you can see, there was a lot of thick smoke, which could be seen from quite a ways away, enough in fact to temporarily close down a section of US 341 that afternoon. News 3 spoke with that pastor, who says he's just happy no one was hurt.
Of course, it's tragedy, and it's very tragic, but at the same time, I know that God is on the throne, and I know the Word of God tells me that all things work together for the good of them that love Him and are called according to His purpose. And right now, I stand, I look at these guys behind me. I've got tremendous support.
No word yet on what may have caused that fire. Around South Carolina this morning, police looking for 2 men they say broke into a gun shop and stole thousands of dollars in weapons. The break-in happened at Tony's Gun Shop in Sumter early Friday morning. Police say the suspects smashed display cases and filled bags with a number of weapons before leaving the scene. They say they responded to the scene within 4 minutes of the alarm going off, but by the time they arrived, the suspects were gone. It's estimated the men made off with $20,000 in guns. Federal agents are helping with the investigation. Happening today, Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton will campaign in St. Petersburg, Florida, while Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump unveils his economic plan in Detroit. Throughout the week, the two will focus on the economy, hoping for further economic growth and global trade. Also happening today, stricter rules concerning minors and tobacco going into effect. Beginning today, the Food and Drug Administration's authority over tobacco products will strengthen to extend to hookah, cigars, and e-cigarettes. The regulation prohibits the sale of these products to anyone under the age of 18. If violated, businesses could face enforcement action from the FDA. Around the world this morning, mudslides in eastern Mexico kill at least 38 people over the weekend. Saturated hillsides collapsed onto homes in the wake of the dissipated storm that was Hurricane Earl. The governor of Veracruz state said that a total of 10 people died along the Caribbean coast, buried in landslides after intense rainfall and flooding. More than 200 people were affected by damage to homes. For your safety this morning, if you're planning a visit to Fort Pulaski, officials warn you to be extremely cautious following a recent gator sighting in the fort's moat. The park rangers told News 3 it's not uncommon for wildlife like gators or snakes to explore the park as well. They also mentioned that during the summer, wildlife is more active. Although they do not believe the gator poses a danger to park visitors, they do ask patrons to be vigilant around the moat. Making headlines in the world of sports now, A-Rod, or Alex Rodriguez of the New York Yankees, is retiring. His last game will be this coming Friday. The 41-year-old had to pause several times during a news conference yesterday because he was so emotional, getting choked up when he talked about his mother, his children, and starting out in the majors as an 18-year-old kid. A-Rod has 696 career home runs, which puts him fourth on the all-time best list. He'll continue to work with the Yankees through 2017 as a special advisor and instructor. In your community report this morning, we're about to enter the first full week of back to school and the first week for some school students across Chatham County. And LifeBridge Church of Savannah is making sure kids officially wrap up the summer on a fun note. It's the third year the church has hosted its Back to School Bash, equipped with plenty of fun activities like a rock wall and dunk tank. Church leaders hoping years to come, all Savannah neighbors feel welcome to join in a day of fun before school starts back. 8 minutes after 5 o'clock on this Monday morning, straight ahead on Coastal Sunrise, what insurance companies see the most of during the month of August and how you can prevent it from happening to you. And today is National Dollar Day, my favorite day of the year. What's the best thing you've ever bought for $1? That's our Coastal Sunrise question of the day this morning. Go to facebook.com/WSAV3 to join in on the conversation. You're watching Coastal Sunrise from WSAV News 3.
Coming up at 5:50 this morning, Alicia is live from Rio with the latest on the agenda, plus what is motivating the athletes and why they decided to walk after all. Your education news this morning, South Carolina ranking 37th among the worst state school systems in the country. North Carolina comes in at 19th, Georgia is 35th. Massachusetts had the best school system, Louisiana's the worst. Now, part of that study looking at school safety, and South Carolina ranking 18th best in that category. The WSAV newsroom had quite a few complaint calls yesterday about the bus system in Chatham County, so there are still a few kinks that have to be worked out. If you're having any issues this morning, call the number on your screen. It is 912-395-5591. If you have problems, though, and you want to contact us, just email busproblems@wsav.com. We've got another hot day on the way and possibly a little bit of rain. Ari's in this morning with a look at what you can expect. Hey, Ari.
Hey there, Renee, and hey, good news is it's Friday. It's Friday morning. Get out of bed, and enjoy this beautiful day. I think we could see a few spotty showers. and we'll have some storm chances, about 60% chance as we head into the afternoon. Some areas could see some isolated flooding, so I'll have those details and your 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Ari. We got a look at your traffic hotspot this morning from Savannah Chatham Metro Police. The road to watch: slow down if you're on Norwood Avenue. And we've got something else on the roads you need to be aware of. Teens back behind the wheel, many driving to school for the first time. Many of them possibly distracted by smartphones. In Georgia, by the way, it is illegal for anybody under 18 to use a cell phone behind the wheel. And teens, remember, if you're caught with your phone, you could face a $150 fine and possible court costs as well.
Today marks the 2-year anniversary of the death of Michael Brown. 18-year-old Brown was unarmed when he was shot by Officer Darren Wilson in Ferguson, Missouri. A grand jury chose not to indict Wilson, and the Department of Justice cleared Wilson of any civil rights violations. There will be events commemorating the somber anniversary, including a vigil at the memorial site and a national moment of silence lasting 4.5 minutes at 12:55. Brown's death sparked months of protests and inspired the Black Lives Matter movement. But here in Savannah, one woman is unemployed this morning after wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. She says a new policy took away her right to support the cause. News 3's Andrew James has more.
I was angry because I wore the shirt 6+ times before without there being a problem.
The churches in Savannah see that there is a need for action to be able to bring about racial reconciliation in Savannah.
And that was News 3's Andrew James reporting. Now, Johnson adds that Savannah Black Lives Matter will begin a new initiative to challenge churches to publicly take a stance on racial issues. That is, if anyone feels they're affecting the community. Happening today, former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich is to be resentenced in federal court. Blagojevich has already served 4 years in prison, but 5 of the original corruption charges against him were thrown out on appeal last year. The 59-year-old is currently serving a 14-year prison sentence for corruption convictions, including an attempt to sell an appointment to President Obama's old Senate seat. And in DeKalb County, the retrial of Hemi Newman is underway. In 2010, Newman was found guilty but mentally ill in the murder of Rusty Snyderman outside of a Dunwoody daycare center. But 5 years later, in June of last year, the Georgia Supreme Court threw out the conviction and sentence, saying some inappropriate evidence had been submitted. Yesterday, the judge dismissed a juror after he failed to disclose that his sister had been murdered. Making headlines out of New York this morning, police, fire, and hazmat crews find an apparent meth lab in an underground sewer in a Walmart parking lot. A man in a protective suit was lowered into the manhole to investigate. The crews were seen retrieving meth lab contents from the sewer. The contents included pop bottles and mason jars with clear liquid inside. Take a look at what's trending this morning. Some sassy dolphins down in SeaWorld over the weekend. It happened so quick you just may miss it, so take a close look.
Oh my God! Oh my gosh!
This is hilarious. That dolphin snatched her iPad. So the woman reached right into the water and snatched it back from the dolphin. And the group of dolphins, they weren't done just yet. That video shows them splashing that woman after she grabbed it and soaking just about everyone else around the pool in the process. Seems a little fishy to me. 5:39 right now. Can't help it. Coming up this morning on Coastal Sunrise, what one survey finds parents are spending on child care annually. That figure may surprise you. And the Olympic Games continue in Rio today. So our Coastal Sunrise question for you this morning is, we want to know about an Olympic athlete who has inspired you, past or present. Go to facebook.com/WSAV3 to join in on the conversation. You're watching Coastal Sunrise from WSAV News 3.